or whatever you're from. But the word got around, says don't mess with the Esparzas, the Rodriguez, and the Mendozas. Believe me, I couldn't wait to the day I graduate from that high school. Could not wait. But you look at it today, I laugh as I went by one time, and you saw all mixture, different races going to school, and I just had to have a big laugh. I said, these people, these kids, they have it made. They don't know what I say. We with a different race. They don't know what we went through. But that's part of life. That question is, how are you going to handle it? Like I can go to a store, and the first thing I hear from a store manager, watch that person, he's a Mexican. I said, really? I was born here in America, so was my parents, my grandparents. Now, my grandfather, check this out. His father was part of the group called, he ran with Pancho Villa. But my grandfather turned out to be a minister, a Methodist minister. Now, my grandmother came from Spain, and they had to leave Spain because of the war and everything that was going on, because she was Jewish. Her family was Jewish. Now, of course, my grandfather and grandmother got together, and here comes the family. Everybody grew up in the church. And we have to learn how to forgive, even though it was still hard back in those days. But we have to learn to forgive. And basically, that's the journey I have to go through in life. Now, I was kind of wild and crazy and everything, and I did drugs. I almost died when I was 15 years old. I did drugs. But thank God for a praying mom. She prayed, and I was out for 3 days and 3 nights. And I promised her I would never do that again. I would never drink again. And to this day, I'm 58 years old. That was back in 1975. I made a promise to her. And every time I made a promise to my mom, I kept my word. I would never have broken my promises to her. But I promised her I would never drink. I would never do drugs again. I would stay clean. And I did. I surely did. But now, as I got older, and I graduated in 1979, I met this person at work. Didn't really care for her. I was not interested in being involved in anybody because I was, I guess you could say, engaged to a Filipino back then, but she broke my heart because she turned around and married somebody else. So I did not want to be involved with nobody. But this person was very persistent. Picked me up, took me here. When my car broke down, she took me to work because we both worked at the same hospital where my mom worked. She was very close to my mom. And I said, why does this person keep bothering me? I keep saying that. Well, she didn't give up on me, and then I got very interested in her, and next thing you know, 1, 2, 3, we started dating, and later in life, she became my wife, Ernestine E. Mendoza. 35 years of marriage with her. Now, like I said, our marriage wasn't perfect. I always tell everybody, we disagree more than we agreed. But we didn't give up on each other. And we went through a lot in life. A lot in life. But it's kind of funny. It was a cold Friday evening, and I was living in an apartment, and she came over, and I was totally surprised she came over. I asked her, what are you doing? She said, oh, nothing. I thought I'd just stop by and see how you're doing, and I was not doing much, so I just want to come by and say hi. I said, okay, well, that's cool. I said, you want to take a walk with me? Because I'm going to go check my mailbox, see if I got any mail. So she said, okay. So we started walking. And of course, it was very, very cold that Friday night. And I noticed she put her hands on my arm, and so I put it real tight. She got very close to me. Like I said, it was cold, very cold. Checked my mailbox, nothing there, so we headed back to my apartment. And then went inside, and then all of a sudden she started hearing this music. And she looked at me and said, "That's our song." I said, "Our song? What are you talking about?" "That is our song." And next thing you know is she gave me a little kiss, and then the rest is history. We stayed together ever since then. And that song I heard the other day, and it just kind of reminds me of everything we went through. You know, we had a son. We have a son together named Adam. And out of that, he blessed us with some grandbabies. And like I said, it wasn't an easy road. Not a very easy road, but we stuck together no matter what. Even though our son got in trouble many times with the law and everything, but we stuck together. And yeah, there's many times we kind of disagree on a lot of stuff, but we didn't give up. That's the whole thing. And we got married in Hawaii, you know, and because she asked me, where do I want to get married? I said, Hawaii. And she said, Hawaii, how about Las Vegas? I said, well, go ahead, have a good time. Well, I want to get married in Hawaii. Well, she said, well, I don't know. I really like going to Vegas. I said, you know what, I'll tell you what, let's do this. There's a real cute blonde they hired at work, and I really like her a whole lot. And I really want to ask her out. So if we don't get married in Hawaii, I'm going to ask this cute little blonde about going out. Well, after a week, she said, okay, we're booked. We're going to Hawaii to get married. Well, the funny part is I never told her that cute little blonde was a guy with long blonde hair they hired at work. I told her years later about that, and she said, you tricked me. I said, I sure did. And of course we got married in Hawaii outside by the beach, and like I said, 35 years of marriage. But during that time, of course, you know, I got involved in the church, and next thing you know, my wife and I got involved. You know, it was at the North Church in Carrollton, Texas, with Dr. Lawrence Kennedy. He was my boss, my pastor, and we became ministers, and we were in charge of the homeless ministry, and very successful. Where we went on our own, started a ministry called Friends Reaching Friends, and for 9 years we did concerts for the city of Dallas, and we got a nice letter from the former mayor, Ron Kirk, for the outstanding work that we did for the city of Dallas. But during that time, in 1996, she got sick with cancer. And that's where the journey started with her, with the cancer, because in 2003 she got cancer again. But then I got sick with diabetes. But the thing is, even though she kept getting sick, I stuck with her. I never left her side. Because in 2014, well actually 2013, her cancer came back. And this time there's nothing can be done. So, took her to the hospital almost every single day. And it's really funny. In 2014, it was in October, she said, that's it, I had enough. But she was really worried about me because one night, that month and a half of her life, well, I did nothing but took care of her. And I remember one night, I was fixing her. She was very uncomfortable. all night. Seriously, God's my witness. She could not get comfortable. So when I finally got her comfortable, it was like almost 4, close to 5 o'clock in the morning. I went and lay down next to her, and then she started crying, and I said, "What's the matter? Why are you crying?" She said, "I have to go to the bathroom." And she kept saying, I'm sorry. I said, "Don't just say you're sorry. That's what I'm here for. I'm your husband. I'm here to take care of you." But she was worried because, because I might get sick or whatever. I said, no, because, everybody's prayers praying not only for you, but they're praying for me, and I feel their prayers, I feel their strength, and, I'm not tired because this is what I want to do. This is where I want to be. And I took care of her, and I promised her I'll take care of her all the way to the end. Just like I made a promise to my mom. So when she got sick, my brothers and I took care of her. And all the way to the end, when I got that call from my brother, it was on Saturday morning, 4:30 in the morning. He said, Mom's dying, you need to get to the hospital. So Tina and I, we rushed to the hospital. But the thing is, the doctor came in, and she thought we'd either be sitting down or leaning against the wall or just pacing the floor. She said she saw a sight she had never seen before. My brothers and I all three were laying on the floor next to the bed. My little brother was on the right side of the bed, my older brother on the left side of the bed, and I was laying down on the floor up the foot of the bed, laying down asleep. And the doctor said she's never seen anything like that before. And we promised my mom would be there all the way to the end until she went home to be with the Lord. Well, I was like that with Tina. I was like that for her all the way to the end. Even I spoke at the funeral, and I'm not going to go through great details and everything, but I said this message is for all the men. There's a scripture there that I live by very strongly. Of course, at the end, I said it was Ephesians 5:25. Love your wife as God loves the church. And after I finished and everything, the ladies stood up and applauded and said it was the best funeral service message they ever have heard before. But the funny part was, when it was time for her to go, Tina knows I was kind of had a smile on my face, and she said, "Well, what are you smiling about?" And then I said, "Do you realize 35 years of marriage, and we finally agreed on something?" And she started laughing. I said, "Yeah, we finally agreed on something." But there's a reason for the first half of my life, the first half of my journey, because I feel very strongly, God's the one that's writing the story. Question is, am I going to fulfill that story? Like Jesus said in Matthew 5, where he says, "I'm not here to do away with the laws. I'm here to fulfill it." Now, God has written my story, my life. But the question is, am I going to fulfill it the way He has written about my life? And there's a reason for everything. A reason for everything. Just like that night when Tina and I walked out in that cold, and we came back to the apartment, and there was a song. And she said, "This is our song," because when she was in the hospital, I played that song to her, put it in her ears, because she was not responding to anything. And somebody said, look at her tiny little feet, because she was little. They said, "Look at her feet. It's jamming to the music." See, she remembered. She remembered our song.